think the craft of shoemaking is documented in some ways back to around 8,000 years. I'm fairly certain that shoes were the first part of the wardrobe that mankind ever created.
Here on Manhattan's Upper East Side, Paul Moorfield and Joan Silverman make shoes the old-fashioned way. They took over the business nearly 20 years ago when founders Fay and Jacob Elias retired. Jacob, a lifelong shoemaker, had survived a World War II concentration camp by making boots for German soldiers. Joan and Paul joined forces to continue the craft tradition.
Paul was the Mr. Elias with his knowledge of orthopedics, and although I didn't keep lasting tacks in my mouth the way Mrs. Elias did, I took on the responsibilities, ordering the leather and designing and sketching.
Mr. Elias was one of my most important teachers. I'm a shoeman. I'm most proud to present myself with that title. This is our basic part that links us to the ground, and it's a very intimate relationship between people and their shoes.
We seem to be the right combination to make this business go on.
Together, Joan and Paul oversee and create almost 20 pairs of shoes each week, which is no small feat since a single pair can take up to 2 months to complete. Each shoe is made by hand. The first step is to choose a shoe design and the leather.
Is there anything about your feet that you want me to know that's unusual? Do you have any aches or pains or anything?
Not really.
Then the process begins with a series of measurements that include everything from toes to ankles. An ink pad and paper are used to study how each foot bears weight to ensure a perfect fit. The one-of-a-kind analysis is carved into a wooden last, which will become the model for the shoe. Paul has been a custom last maker for 20 years.
The last maker is the single primary job in a shoe business. Custom last making, I don't think there are more than 5 or 10 of us. Perhaps that many are still working. When I pick up the first piece of wood, I already have in my mind a picture of the finished shoe. I was a model maker as a child. If you have that gift, then this is a great place to express it. A good shoe man learns something from everyone, and I learned something from every shoe man I ever worked around. There's an old saying, shoe man, stick to your last, and nothing truer can be said of our work. If they're not good on the foot, they will not be art, no matter what else we do.
Once the last is carved, it is covered with tape and used as a canvas by a pattern maker, who skillfully hand draws the patterns and designs that will grace the shoe. The patterns are then transferred to paper. And finally, cut in leather. The pieces which are sewn together comprise the upper part of the shoe.
A shoe upper is stitched together in the same manner that a fine garment would be sewn together, and these men are gifted at the sewing machine.
When the shoe has been fit and adjusted, uppers are stretched over the last and the shoe is assembled by hand.
There are roughly 200 individual operations to be performed to create a properly made pair of gentlemen's shoes. If you've got a little engineering sense, you'll be happy and at home in the shoe shop. If you've got a sense of elan and style and grace, you'll be happy in the shoe shop. And if you really love to see a finished product, something taken to its final completed stage, then you'll be happy in the shoe shop.
Once the upper is securely attached to the last, it is sewn to the insole using a round circular stitch.
I was born into a family of artists. I think that I inherited the love of art and color and design. I think that every pair of shoes that leaves our store is truly a work of art.
The final finish stage in our shoes entails a great deal of hand rubbing and hand polishing, and this goes on not just on the upper leathers, but it goes on the bottoms of the shoes as well.
The last step is the final presentation. It is the soul of this business.
Mr. Barrett, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think you're going to like what we've created for you.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Aren't they something special?
I think it's the human part of our business that has made us so very successful.
There's nothing like the thrill of seeing the final product on the foot and a smile on a wearer's face. I suppose it is true that life does imitate art, and at the time that these shoes go on those wearers, art has been achieved.
All this week on Martha Stewart Living. Tuesday, make one of Martha's favorite hors d'oeuvres called a crispy frico taco. Wednesday, go behind the scenes to see the renovation of Radio City Music Hall. Thursday, Alice Waters celebrates the vegetables of winter. And Friday, a whole hour of favorite holiday crafts and Christmas recipes. Learn something new all this week on Martha Stewart Living.